wave.
I don't think so.
Scan the
White
audience.
nose.
She's not
Hi.
looking.
Yeah, whatever.
There we go.
Alright, guys. Here. Alrighty. Here, girl in the blue shirt, we started. There it is. Alrighty, and we're going to start right now. Alrighty, to start off the speech, I'm going to do a demonstration. Juno, would you please move to go sit between them?
Sure, Adam. I will do anything you ask.
Thank you.
Excuse me, dear sir.
Hi, Juno.
Yeah.
That demonstrates the power of asking. If you don't ask, it won't happen. Now, if I asked her to paint her face pink and stand on her head against the wall, she would probably tell me to go take a hike. But if we all asked her, we could probably get her to do it, right? That demonstrates the power of numbers. So imagine you have the will to ask for something, and you've got the numbers behind it. You've got power. What would you ask for? Well, 50 years ago, a man named Peter Benenson was in London. And what he decided to ask for was to have unjustly imprisoned individuals that governments had put away for reasons that were not right to be released. He started an organization called Amnesty International. And this is their banner. You can have their own website. So how did he reach that point? Why is that what he chose? What motivated him? Why is there a powerful organization called Amnesty International today that's been going for 50 years? You can answer those questions. This is not interactive. So, this is last Sunday's newspaper, the New Palace Banner. Turn inside the page, you could read an article that says, Iran sentences rights activist to 6 years. How do you feel when you hear that? A rights activist, somebody who's fighting for other people's rights, was in prison for it. That's frustrating. So imagine 50 years ago, you are on the London train, and you read about 2 Portuguese students who were imprisoned because in a public restaurant they raised their glasses to freedom. Sentenced to 7 years for it. Peter Benenson read that, and he thought, what am I going to do about this? I could either go to the Portuguese embassy and I could file a complaint. That's not going to do anything. So what he did, he took out a full front page article in the newspaper, in the London Observer, pleading their case, letting the world know what was happening to those 2 Portuguese students, and that he didn't think it was right, and that he thinks everybody in the world should probably write letters to the Portuguese government saying, we don't agree with this. This is not right. So he made an appeal to free these prisoners of conscience. The entire world responded. There was no email back then. There was no websites. There was nothing like that. Human rights as an idea had just been created like 10 years prior to that. The world responded. He saw that there was power behind this, so he started the group Amnesty International. After he saw that there was a lot of support, he chose 9 more cases, 9 more people that were being imprisoned around the world, and he appealed for their cases. They started getting organized. They started sending researchers to these different countries and saying, what's going on with this prisoner? What's going on with that prisoner? They started publishing reports that governments would read. And pretty soon people were starting to be released. The government started responding. They started shining lights on these situations. And now that what they were doing in the dark, they couldn't do it anymore. You couldn't just get away with torturing people. You couldn't just get away with imprisoning people. The world was watching now. Amnesty International shined a light on the rest of the world. And today, it's been going on for 50 years. They've got 2.8 million members. We can be among them. They have their own website. They've got offices in 80 different countries. They've got campaigns going on for women's rights, for children's rights, arms control, and of course, prisoners of conscience, people that are being put in prison because they enjoy the things and want to enjoy the things that you and I are enjoying. And they're fighting for it to this day, 50 years strong. And how did it all start? One person asking. One person asking everybody else to care about it, to be involved with it, to write a letter, to do something. Now they're recognized by the United Nations as a world force, as an international organization. Amnesty International, they didn't think about the odds. They didn't think, oh, it's the government. The governments are too powerful. We can't do anything against the governments around the world. We can't say anything. We're just small. I'm just one person who cares. He didn't think like that. But instead, you'll see that they chose the candle as their symbol. Oop. Oh shoot, there we go. That's their symbol. And when they started using this candle, they remembered the quote, an ancient Chinese quote, that will be my closing quote, and it says, "It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness."